to enhance efficiency and quality of life. 6. Financial sector reforms to bring transparency and stability. 7. Governance and ease of doing business to enable people to realize their full potential. 8. Fiscal discipline, prudent management of government finances and delivery of benefits to the needy. 9. Tax reforms to reduce compliance burden with a faith in the citizenry. In each of these things, I shall outline specific policy measures and initiatives which would have a transformative impact on our economy and the lives of our people. Agriculture and farmers' welfare. Let me first take up agriculture and farmers' welfare. We are grateful to our farmers for being the backbone of the country's food security. We need to think beyond food security and give back to our farmers a sense of income security. Government will therefore reorient its interventions in the farm and non-farm sector to double the income of farmers by 2022. Our total allocation on agriculture and farmers' welfare 15 to 86,500 metric tons. 90% of domestic honey is now exported. Rural area. After agriculture, I turn to the other segment, the rural economy. A sum of rupees 2.87 lakh crores will be given as grant in aid to the Gram Panchayats and municipalities as per the recommendations of the 14th Finance Commission. Government will enact necessary amendments in the Motor Vehicles Act and open up the road transport sector in the passenger segment. An enabling ecosystem which will provide for the which will be provided for the states which will have a choice of adopting the new legal framework. Andhra to have an Indian ending. My belief is that the year 2017 will unfold the great historian's dream. Our scheme of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat is a part of this mission. Madam, let me now elaborate on the fiscal situation in the context of the budget of 2016-17. While preparing this budget, I have received conflicting suggestions about the FRBM roadmap. Different schools of thought have argued either in favor of fiscal consolidation and stability or for a less aggressive consolidation and for boosting growth. I have weighed the policy option and decided that prudence lies in adhering towards Make in India campaign of our government. In line with that, I propose to make suitable changes in the customs and excise duty rates of certain inputs within the proven track record. In 2014-15 budget, I had announced the intent to implement an Indian Customs single window project. We have made significant progress in this, and it would be implemented at all major ports and airports starting from the beginning of the next financial year. The custom baggage rules for international passengers are being simplified so as to increase the free baggage allowance. The filing of baggage declaration will be required only for those passengers who carry dutiable goods. Use of technology and creating accountability. Technology is a boom for mankind. We plan to use technology in the taxation department in a big way to make life simpler for law-abiding citizens and also for data mining to track tax evaders. A pilot was run in 2015-16 for e-assessments to obviate the requirements of taxpayers to visit the income tax office. I propose to expand the scope of e-assessments to all assessees in 7 megacities in the coming years. The case selected for scrutiny will be scrutinized in an e-environment where, unless the assessee himself wants to be heard or for special reasons to be recorded, the assessing officer wants to hear the party, there will be no face-to-face contact of the IT department and the assessee. Income Tax Department will fully expand the pilot initiative of e-Sahyog with a view to reduce compliance costs, especially for small taxpayers. The object of e-Sahyog project will be to provide online mechanism to resolve mismatches in income tax returns without requiring taxpayers to attend the income tax office. I propose that in matters pertaining to income tax, government will pay an interest at the rate of 9% as against a normal 6% in case there is a delay in giving effect to an appellate order beyond 90 days. The officers who delay it will be accountable for the loss to the government. I also propose to change the procedure to provide for a shift from physical controls to record-based control for customs bonded warehouses supported by sophisticated IT systems. Madam Speaker, my direct tax proposals would result in a revenue loss of rupees 1,060 crores and my indirect tax proposals will yield rupees 20,670. Thus, the net impact of all tax proposals would be a revenue gain of rupees 19,610 crores. Madam Speaker, this budget is being presented amidst a global and domestic headwinds. There are several challenges. We see them as opportunities. I have outlined the agenda of our government to transform India for the benefit of the farmers, the poor and the vulnerable. Madam Speaker, it is said that champions are made out of something they have deep inside them, a desire, a dream, a vision. We have a desire to provide socio-economic security to every Indian, especially the farmer, the poor and the vulnerable. We have a dream to see a more prosperous India and a vision to transform India. With these words, Madam, I commend the budget to this House for acceptance. Madam Speaker, I rise to move leave to introduce the Finance Bill 2016.
Statement. Item number 2, lay on the table statement for microeconomic.
Madam, I rise to lay on the table the following statement under Section 3 of the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2003, Microeconomic Framework Statement, Medium-Term Fiscal Policy Statement, and Fiscal Policy Strategy Statement.
Now move the finance bill. Mr. Minister, now move the finance bill. Move to leave the introduced to finance.
Madam, I rise to move for leave to introduce the Finance Bill 2016.
Yes. The question is that leave is granted to introduce the Finance Bill 2016. Those in favor may say aye, those against may say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the leave is granted. The Minister may now introduce.
Madam, I introduce the bill.
Thank you. The House stands adjourned to meet again tomorrow, 1st March 2016 at 11 a.m.